Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Laurie Sue Brockway, and I am so happy to be here again at the Goddess Conference. This year we are talking about Crone Goddess, Lady of the Other World, and I'm happy to present a little bit of wisdom that I learned over the last few years as I have entered my crone years. And I'm figuring there's some people out there who have gone through the challenges, the joys, the oys, and, all the things that come with aging. So we are crone goddesses now. And this presentation is for you and anyone else who is interested in learning a little bit more about increasing your own wisdom and curiosity, and also following a path of sacred aging. So I have put a lot of this into a PowerPoint, and these presentations move so quickly, and I just wanted to put it in there for you so that you can have it all in print as well if you want to go back and do the ritual part of this on your own. And here is Saraswati, who is the Hindu goddess of knowledge and wisdom and creativity, and she is here to help me in my speaking and also to help you with anything you are meant to learn from this presentation. So let's go to the PowerPoint. So the presentation today is called Joyful Croning, Finding New Purpose and Pleasures in Your Wisdom Years. And I just love this lady on the cover. She's so filled with purpose and pleasure. So my background is I'm an interfaith minister. I'm an Avalon Rose Priestess. I'm a wedding officiant. I've married almost 1,000 couples. I've worked with so many different families, interfaith families, and I'm the author of more than 30 books, and now a graduate student who went back to school at age 65. I have written fairly extensively on goddess history and how to connect with divine wisdom through education and ritual, ceremony, prayer, and a creative spiritual practice. And I have also been writing about how to find your purpose in your wisdom years for Spirituality and Health magazine, which you can find online. My own books include The Goddess Pages, Goddess Lessons, Lakshmi Magic, Lakshmi Devotional, Seshat Journal, Wedding Goddess, Soulmate Feng Shui, and Goddess in the Mirror. And I also wrote a book about 20-something years ago called A Goddess is a Girl's Best Friend. So inside this presentation, excuse me, we are going to just look at ways that we can step into our role as honored elders and celebrate the special gifts that we have to offer the world. And I'm hoping that there's a little bit of inspiration, some practical guidance, and that the ritual is of value to you. And I am sharing a ritual that I wrote for myself in this process, and I'd like to share it with all of you. So part one, we're just going to talk about reclaiming joy and curiosity, share a little bit about my own story, because I think sometimes it helps to hear how someone else went through some aspects of aging that maybe weren't that much fun and sort of began to come out the other side of it. And then pondering new pleasures, possibilities, and intentions. I just want to look at, if you could have 5 wishes, what would they be? And then we're going to take those wishes and turn them into intentions as if they have already been created. And part 3 is a ritual to honor sacred aging. And you can prepare by gathering a meaningful piece of jewelry. It could be something that you're wearing or something that you have, like a ring or a necklace or a bracelet, and representations of air, water. I have everything here on my altar, and fire, and a little bit of dirt or salt, and just a little bit of something. And of course, you can set it up any way you want to, but if you're sitting here trying to do this ritual as part of this presentation, you'll also want a pen and paper. And so that is me as a child. I think it's good to have a picture of yourself being joyous and filled with curiosity to remember what it was like, that it's possible, that it's inside you, that little child who can still find a lot of joy in the world. So, the inspiration for this presentation is, especially in the reporting I have been doing in the last couple of years, and my own experiences, that aging is just not always fun. In theory, we know it's essential to honor the crone goddess, and we know that honoring this aspect of divinity helps us honor ourselves and others in the wisdom years, but it can be a process. And as we grow older, we have to acknowledge the realities of our lives, our health, our losses, the many changes in our lives, in our careers, in our work, our family life. We really do have to grieve the parts of ourselves that must be left behind. We can also, though, find this as a time to reclaim our power. And I really believe that we can set ourselves on a path in which we can celebrate the survival skills that have gotten us this far, and also begin to plot a new narrative for life. So my story, my entry into my 60s was not too easy. My mother, who's right there, my beautiful mom, passed away at 100, and it rocked my world. Mom loss is, I think a lot of people know, is just the worst thing that so many of us go through. And I had spent so many years as her caregiver while also caring for my son with special needs and health issues. And I was also working as an emotional health reporter. I was working as a minister, and grief on top of a series of other losses. I had other loved ones dying, dear friends. I lost my day job. My son was moving out. Everything that came along with the pandemic was stressful. And then it really took me on a path of sadness and compassion burnout. So one day, I literally just fell to my knees and cried. I was waiting for that to happen. I was holding it together for so long, for like about a year plus after she died. And it lasted about 18 months. And my husband and my son held me together. And at 62, I was rudderless. I had no idea who I was anymore, and I had no clear purpose. And of course, I was very blessed that I had support to help me through it, but it was a rough time. Then I had this magical wake-up call. I came across a quotation from the T.H. White book, The Once and Future King. It's this scene where Arthur goes into the woods to talk to Merlin about how to deal with his sadness. And Merlin says, the best thing for being sad is to learn something. That's the only thing that never fails. And it just really hit me like a bolt of lightning. I had not hit a dead end. I had entered my wisdom years, and now a lot of what was beginning to change, and I had to learn a new way of being. And I really had to find a new purpose. I realized that I had to define what was most important to me in life, and in doing so, I might actually find some great joy in my wisdom years. And it's just that many of the roles I had had for much of my life had changed. I was searching for what would give my life the most meaning and purpose. I'm sure you've all been there. But I knew for me it had to do with learning and spiritual pursuits. I especially wanted to study the things I had no time to pursue in my earlier years, because when we're taking care of others and running around trying to control the universe and make things work in a household or in raising a family or in building a career, there are so many things that we don't get to do. But as we get a little older, sometimes we have a little more space to pursue those things. So I gave myself time to explore, and it was the first time in my life that I ever gave myself the space to do it. I decided to allow my curiosity and interest to lead me on a journey And I really gave myself a full year, and it lasted a little longer than that. But I said, you know what? For this year, I'm going to follow my curiosity. And rather than push things, I allowed things to evolve. And I decided to take Merlin's word for it. And I somehow understood that when the brain is learning, the heart and soul are nourished. And I sat down and I gave some thought to what I wanted to learn and why. And I actually divided my own learning journey into 3 paths. And I will share them. Spiritual growth was number 1. The exhaustion of caregiving had robbed my enthusiasm for a long time. So I knew I wanted to replant myself firmly on the path of spiritual development. And I set myself on a journey in Glastonbury, England, where you all are, where many of you are today. And I took courses with wonderful, wonderful teachers who helped midwife my spiritual rebirth. And this helped me call back some of the lost parts of myself. And it also helped me begin to remember that I had my own inner wisdom and insights to share with others. Because we affiliate the crone goddess with wisdom, and sometimes we get into our own crone years and we forget how much wisdom we have. And part of the spiritual growth was to reclaim that and to also develop it. Also, number 2 for me was intellectual engagement. I had to leave graduate school to take care of my mom, and I longed to go back, but I just couldn't go back to the marriage and family therapy program that I had spent 4 years in. And I took a lot of different courses at Harvard X and all these different places where you could take classes. I was also taking a lot of spirituality courses in Glastonbury online. And I started to scour graduate programs, and I went to so many different open houses online. And I was looking for something that had mainly an online component, but that had an out in the world aspect to it. And I settled on public history, which I love and adore. And I am now, into my 2nd year. And I wrote my entrance exam at the same time that I was applying for Medicare. It was pretty cool. And number 3 for me was sharing wisdom. I felt called to take on a legacy project of putting my life's work into a book, and it quickly turned into many books. And it was just a passion project that was creative and fun. It gave me purpose in life. It helped me understand that I had spent years already facilitating a lot of information and wisdom and sharing insights with other people, writing things. And I ended up starting my own publishing company. And the first 2.5 years, I was able to get out 20 books. Some of them were new editions of my older books, but I got a lot of new goddess books written, and I'm still working on many. And it was one of the best things I ever did to really follow my heart in wanting to create the books that are meaningful to me. And I spent a lot of time studying different ways to develop and to deliver spiritual information. And I was really, really so blessed when I was asked to teach about it for the Goddess Conference the first year that I was invited to teach. So I have discovered that curiosity can lead to joyful aging. I have come through the tunnel of grief like so many of you have or will. I've come through that terrible compassion burnout to step onto a new path in life because I had this chance to cultivate my curiosity and learn new things and bring new meaning to life. And I'm just hoping that this is some way helpful to those of you who are engaged in this presentation today. I have been actually writing about this topic, as I mentioned, for spirituality and health. And I've just seen time and again that we can find a new path to joy if we allow our curiosity to lead. I've done a lot of interviews on it. And I also spoke to Dr. Jay Kumar, who is the author of Science of a Happy Brain. And he actually told me a curious brain is a happy brain. And, he suggested we could restore some of that childlike wonder and curiosity. It can really aid in our ability to rewire and fortify the structural connections and health of the brain at any age. So, it's proven in brain science, he said. And following your curiosity can add a deeper sense of intellectual fulfillment and spiritual well-being, he mentioned. So I just thought, you know what? The happiness doctor says curiosity is good for us. And that is one of the reasons I wanted to sort of make that one of the focal points of this presentation, because I know that if you're here at the Goddess Conference, you're a very curious being and you want to learn and you want to connect with the Goddess and you want to connect with new information and insights. And so I'm here to say you're on the right track following your curiosity. So, part 2, I found this kind of crone fairy godmother to be with us and bless this part. If you could have 5 wishes to follow your curiosity and pursue some dreams, what would they be? So I want you to just think about these things. I'm going to go through a couple of slides, but I'd like you to just think of things that you would like to pursue and take some notes as you go along. And, maybe some of these things that you're interested in can be turned into choices or intentions and things that you can set forth as part of the ritual that we're going to do. All right, so here we go. What new door would you like to open in life? Is there something, place you want to go? An energy you want to experience? What new thing would you like to do? And you can start jotting down your ideas and go back to them later if we go through the slides a little quicker than you're writing. What inner wisdom and intuition would you like to follow? We all have amazing intuition and wisdom, and you know how we don't always follow it, and then we are sort of like, So what is it calling to you? What is really coming through you right now that you would like to follow and pursue? Where is your heart leading you? That, of course, is Athena's owl. What would you like to study? Do you want to go back to school? Are you done with university, but you want to take a spiritual course, a spiritual training? I took a priestess training when I was 65 or 64 years old. And I know I've been a priestess all my life, and a minister, but it was really wonderful to study as an Avalon Rose Priestess and then be inspired to go back to college at 65. What would you like to create? Is there a book? Are there poems you want to write? Is there art you want to create? Do you want to make jewelry? Do you want to quilt or knit? Or just create big projects that you share with others, or exhibits for museums? What would you like to create? And how would you like to experience love and pleasure? That is really important because we have to have balanced lives. And it's really important to give some thought into, in this stage of life, in our wisdom years, we can still have a lot of love. Maybe it doesn't come through romantic love. Maybe it does. Maybe it's friends. Maybe it's community. And pleasure. Maybe it's sexual. Maybe it's just the pleasure of walking in a beautiful meadow or connecting to the great mother of all things. And maybe it is being with somebody you love in a pleasurable way. And it can be whatever it is to you. Just give some thought to how you'd like to experience it. So during the ritual, you're going to have a chance to create a list of all you'd like to learn or experience and state them as intentions as if they've already come true, and say thank you. Always when you're making goals or choices and intentions, state them as if they are true. I am really enjoying being back in college. I love my new job. Thank you. I love this new book I've published. Thank you. I hope that gives a little bit of inspiration. Because the mind doesn't know the difference between fiction and fact. So if you tell it it is so, you will begin to manifest it. So part 3, we're going to do this ritual for sacred aging. And I'd like you, if you can, to get your elements together and have them around. Take a moment to gather them. You can put the video on pause, or just go through it with me now and get a feel for it. And then you could go back and do it again alone. I have the elements here, so I will represent as I do them. Okay, so let's begin. So let's just, first of all, consider that since this is the Crone Goddess Conference, I think it's important that we call in the great goddess, the mother of all things, the source of all that is. She is the ancient one. The earth we stand on, the air we breathe, the fire we cook with, the waters of life that sustain us, the spirit that lives inside and all around us. She is experienced through the flowers and the trees, the moon, the ocean, the cycles of life and nature and all living things. And obviously she's in history, mythology, sacred texts, folklore, every culture. And we know her as Gaia by so many different names, and ancient mother, Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And I just felt that because she helps in every stage of life, she can help us embrace our elder years, because she is as old as time, and she can help us to embrace our own aging with power and grace, and also to breathe new life into life. So hail and welcome, Great Mother and all the ancient ones. So for preparation for this ritual, you could do it near an existing altar. You could go outside and do it if you have a laptop, or you just, want to make note of what the ritual aspects are. You'll need a piece of jewelry. That's one of my blessed pieces of jewelry there, my hand at my altar. It can be sparkly and new, something you inherited. It could be ancient, whatever it is. Just have something that you can imbue with your intentions, and representations of air. Maybe you have a feather. We're also going to use our breath for that part of the ritual. Water, small cup, fire, a little candle, little dirt or salt in a planter or a bowl or a little cup, and pen, paper, or journal that you can write in. I'm just going to take a sip. Okay. So let's take a moment to purify. Just imagine these amazing waterfalls are washing over you, cleansing you of all the stress, all the challenges, everything that happened today, everything that has gone on in the last few months, last few years. Allow those sacred waters to wash over you and purify your heart, your soul, your body, your being. Begin to let go. Just let things float away. The waterfalls are intense, but they're safe because they're blessing you and coming down softly on your skin. And as you stand there in the water, just allow all your issues, your problems, your challenges, your upsets, your illnesses, your challenges with aging, your feelings about yourself that are not really truly worthy of who you are, just allow them to float away, float away, float away. And you are renewed like a curious, excited kid who's stepping into the elder years with the same spirit and the same wonder that you had in childhood. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Take another deep breath and okay. We're ready to step forward. Take a moment to center. Feel your feet firmly on the ground. Feel your connection to the moon and stars above. Feel the presence of the ancient mother and all the ancestors around you. Wrap yourself in a bubble of their love and feel their protection. You are grounded. You are safe. You are wrapped in a bubble of love. Now, I'd like you just symbolically to enact each element. And if you want to, you can face the direction as you state the prayers to call in the directions. Well, we're going to actually do a prayer first. Let's begin with creating the sacred space even further with a prayer. Ancient Mother, please fill this place with your holy presence. Please bring the wisdom of the ages and the ancestors to this ritual. Please guide and protect us. Please empower us to know our strength, our worth, and wisdom. Please help us revel in the role of wise woman. Please let us feel the power of the mothers who came before. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Now I'd like you to take a moment to consider the intentions that you'd like to create. With your pen and paper in hand, take a moment to write at least 5 goals. If you can, in the areas that we discussed, a new thing to explore, inner wisdom you want to follow, what you'd like to study, something you'd like to create, and how you'd like to experience love and pleasure. So you're going to write these intentions as if they are completed and say thank you in advance. Okay, now let's create as many intentions as you can. Now you can always go back to it. And just know that if you add to it after the ritual, just hold on to whatever piece of jewelry you bless, and they will any additional goals will be included. So let's call in the directions. Blow gently on your hand. I call to the Great Mother from the East. I honor wind and the ancestors and ask that my dreams, goals, and intellect be blessed. Please inspire creativity and new purpose in my wisdom years. Lift the candle. I call the Great Mother from the South. I honor fire and the ancestors and ask for help finding my truest passions. Please bring me and give me enthusiasm as I grow into elderhood. Dip a finger in the water and dab it on your head. I call to the Great Mother from the West. I honor water and ask to be cleansed and purified for my next steps. Please bless and stabilize my emotions and make me resilient as I age. And now lift the earth or salt. I call to the Great Mother from the North. I honor Mother Earth and pray to remain grounded with a strong foundation beneath me. Please help me find healing and wholeness in nature as my body changes. I call to the spirits of above, below, and within. I call for harmony and joy as I commit myself to follow the call of my heart and soul to fulfilling my true purpose. May I embrace aging as a sacred honor. So it is, so it is, so it is. So now take your jewelry and bless it by holding it in your hand and holding it against your heart as you read your intentions aloud. So you'll pause to reflect for a moment, keep the jewelry at your heart, and then read your list of intentions as if speaking to the great goddess and the Crone Mother. And just allow the energy of your intentions to bless the jewelry. Once you've read all your intentions and you've really pressed them into your heart by holding the jewelry close to your heart chakra, put on the jewelry because now it's been blessed by the energy of the ritual. When you wear it, you carry the power of the earth, your ancestors, the goddess, the energy of wisdom of the Crone Mother, the ancient ones, and all the things that you want to and you are creating and you have created for this wisdom time in your life as you grow older, but also wiser. So let's offer a prayer. Dear Mother, thank you for helping me embrace my time of sacred aging with grace and resilience. And now we're going to offer a closing prayer to complete the ritual. I thank the great goddess and the elements of the east, south, west, and north, of above, below, and within, for blessing my body, my mind, and my soul. I thank the directions, the ancestors, and the elements of our common being for anointing me today with love. May I walk the path of sacred aging with grace and enthusiasm. And so it is. So it is. And now please, let's close the circle and say this aloud with me. I release the directions, the elements, the ancestors, and all the cosmic helpers who have participated in this ritual. We release the great ancient mother and all divine support. We release with love all the energies that have helped in this circle. This ritual is now complete for me and all involved. The circle is closed. Now brush your hands together several times to release any remaining energy and let the excess fall to the floor. Return to the Great Mother so she can begin to transmute anything that needs healing and to help manifest new intentions. Now begin to shake out and wake up and come back into normal consciousness, into your body, into the awareness of the current moment, feet on the floor, grounded, but connected to all that is, carrying all the best energies of this ritual and all your intentions in your jewelry. And just consider this closing thought. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. Take a deep breath and release. And if you can, go outside and walk in nature a little and just breathe in some fresh air if you're not outside already. And I would just like to tell you a little bit about some of my passion projects, if you don't mind. My Lakshmi Magic series. Oh my goodness, Lakshmi is my special goddess, and her sister Saraswati and Seshat. But I really love this series. It's everything I know about Lakshmi, available to anybody who is interested in the goddess of good fortune. And here are more of my books. I'm so excited and proud to see them all together in this little box. My publishing company is called Goddess Communications. And I am excited that some of the projects I was doing for school this year are the Goddess in Public History, Seshat Wisdom, and Meet and Hadwana. And I have to say that so much of this inspiration came from my teacher, Annabelle de Boulay, who is an amazing goddess scholar, who was the first person to teach me about Enheduanna and to really awaken me to some of the ancient sites where the goddess still lives. And so I'm very grateful to her and Anna Price and so many of the teachers that I studied with in Glastonbury. So yes, I am blessed. I thank Marion and Katinka again because they have been so gracious in inviting me to teach at the Goddess Conference ever since I discovered it. And I am just very pleased to be with you all. And if you would like to connect with me in real time, you can find information at my website, revlauriesue.com. So that is it for our presentation. I want to thank you for being here. I hope you would just have such a great time and go out and enjoy everything that is available at the Goddess Conference this year, online and in person if you're there. And I just wish you all a beautiful Crone Goddess Conference and a beautiful experience in your wisdom years as you begin to create new possibilities, new purpose, and find new passions and follow your creativity. And so many blessings. So it is. So it is. So it is. Thank you.